kind of know what I'm doing, but not 100%. So it could go wrong. If it does,
run.
It's been great knowing more than Anyway, so I had this interest in psychology. I wanted to study psychology when I left school, but instead ended up studying a failed law degree. But I was always interested in the mind. And as you know, I collect strange things. My office is just full of weird stuff. So I've collected a few books on psychology, and I've read through them. And the thing that always fascinated me is when there are kids involved. You know, psychological problems involving children. I mean, as a teacher, you can appreciate this. In particular, schizophrenia. So when I heard about this, this particular story that I'm about to share with you tonight, I went on a mission to see if I could find out more about it. And I was actually able to purchase quite a few items. And I'm gonna kind of take you through this. We're going to use all of the things in this kiddie's school case. I've got a diary here, a little kid's journal. It's kind of a handwritten diary. Don't worry, I'll pass it around so you can all see it. So it kind of takes place somewhere in the late 70s. The girl's name was Alice Murray. Okay, so this took place in the Western Cape, although some of what you're about to hear also takes place in Johannesburg. I also have here a letter which was an exchange of correspondence between her psychologist here in Cape Town and a paranormal psychologist up in Johannesburg, a guy by the name of Martin Robinson. So if I'll just pass that around, you can kind of take a look at it. I also have here some kiddies blocks. You may have all had some like this. Also belonging to Alice Murray. I'll explain at the end how I got hold of all of these things. So you can just check those out. And then I have some photographs here. This is Alice Murray. We've got Philip and Janet Murray. Those are her parents. And then here we have, this is the Red Cross Children's Hospital, which still exists today. It's actually in Rondebosch. So that is, of course, where Alice found herself. So at the age of 9, when she started writing the diary, she had a number of tragedies that befell her and her family. And she started having some experiences with an alternative, a friend initially that she thought that she was talking to, a child called Ash. Now Ashley, it turns out, was a figment of her imagination. And by the end of the story, you can see there's been a full transformation where Alice becomes Ash. And it's quite disturbing. And in fact, when I was reading it, I was thinking about my relationship with my own kids, their relationship with me as their dad. Her father passes away at some point in the diary, and she clearly experiences a lot of pain. And you can actually see, Lex, while you're looking through it, the drawings and the writing and everything gets more and more disturbing as you get towards the end of the story. Do you have those photographs and the blocks? Put them out here on the table.
Could we spread it out on the table so I just quickly review it all?
We're just going to keep these here. So there we've got the hospital, we've got Mom and Dad, Philip and Janet Murray, and of course Alice. You'll read the letter.
Yeah.
Right, so I need you to read the whole thing, Leo. So it's quite old, so there's...
Okay.
So this is the letter, just to give you context again. This was written by Dr. Robinson in Johannesburg in response to Dr. Strauss, who was actually Alice's doctor. He'd had a bit of a tragedy happen in the hospital while Alice was there. And in desperation, he reached out to his friend Dr. Robinson in Johannesburg. And that's really where our story begins.
Dr. Strauss, thank you for sending me the articles belonging to child subject Alice Murray. The diary was indeed an intriguing and somewhat disturbing read. I can appreciate that having explored all known methods of psychoanalysis, you have turned to, shall we say, less conventional method to help this young patient. As you know, I've been specializing in past life regression and paranormal psychology for the past 10 years. But I have to say, this is the first time I've been asked to look into a case involving such a young child. It is my understanding that young Alice has been entrusted to your care by her mother, Janet Murray. It is further my understanding that the patient has not only displayed signs of schizophrenia, personality split, but that there have been also reports of inexplicable and perhaps even paranormal events since her arrival at the Red Cross Children's Facility. I have examined the book thoroughly and conducted experiments on it. The results have me convinced that this book is indeed possessed or haunted. I've spent many nights in these pages using a variety of techniques to gain the following information. Some of the days, June 18th, for example, created very strong emotional reactions. August 25th and April 24th are extremely powerful as well. Perhaps with your area of expertise, this could help your work. Sadness was the feeling most common, followed by disorientation. May 19th appears to have caused the primary disorientation. However, September 8th caused almost a bit of a psychological seismic shift in the poor young girl. Sorry, this is printed very weirdly. I also ran
Ouija.
Yeah, no. I also ran an Ouija experiment, something frowned upon in our rather Calvinistic country, as you know, but I do find the tool to be an excellent barometer of psychic activity. In this instance, the number 29 appeared frequently. This is most likely a date, but the month could be almost any within the book. A feeling of cold wind was present, and gave me the impression that perhaps winter time in the Cape. I know this may sound a bit out there, especially for a medical professional such as yourself, but I have actually contacted the spirits within these pages over many nights. Most of the attempts at contact have been successful. On 3rd July, after receiving the book, I went straight to work. Spirits were present on July 9th, 13th, as well as the 19th, my last contact before writing this letter. Using the Ouija brought up September month often, but the exact date was not clear. It might have been 15 or 25. More tests are needed for clarification, and I would like to hold onto the book for a few months if possible. The least amount of contact garnished small results as well. I happened to knock the book off my study table, and the number 333 flashed into my mind. This could be a connection to the 3rd of March or even the 23rd of March. This brings me to the children's blocks that were included within the diary. Whilst I still need to conduct further tests, it is my belief that these toys are the gateway to the parapsychological event that led to the ultimate manifestation of Ashley. The diary appears to provide instructions to unlock the secrets. I have to say that even with my experience, I am apprehensive to go down this road. Something definitely lies underneath. I'll report back in my next letter. More experimentation is needed, Dr. Strauss, and I implore you as well to heed my warning about this case. These artifacts are not to be taken lightly. I thank you for seeking me out for my opinion on this study. My opinion is thus that you keep this object far away from your medical team, but more particularly from the patients. We still don't know what power can be held within, but we can safely assume that bringing all the pieces together, Ashley, the diary, and the blocks, will bring about certain catastrophic events. You have seen a small piece of its power due to the fire, of course, and I will assume that your personnel personal encounter has given you the clarity to see that it is best that I keep possession of the blocks and the book until we know more. I look forward to meeting you in person at next year's conference on 4th September, and will continue to share my results with you as I progress. Yours sincerely, M.E.
Okay, so unfortunately, Dr. Robinson, a few months after he wrote that letter, he met with a terrible accident. There was a fire in his home, which is exactly what prompted Alice's doctor to reach out to him in the first place, because they also had a fire at the Red Cross Children's Memorial Hospital in the psychiatric ward where Alice was being held, or treated, I should say. So one of the things that he speaks about in the letter is that he used various techniques to establish contact, to investigate what was happening in the book. So some of the things that we use are slates. These are like kids' slates that you would have seen at school, for instance. Christelle's got some experience with schools with these slates. So we're not going to use these right now. We'll actually use these later. Let me just chuck a piece of chalk in there. So we're just going to keep it over there. Now, what we need to do firstly is we've got to establish if we've got any contact, if Alice is actually here in the room with us. And to do that, we use another ancient device, something that was actually developed in Victorian days. And we call this a spirit bell. Now this one here, you can see it's a wooden platform. And it has some pieces that we actually have to assemble. Okay, so Aidan, maybe being the future engineering student, you can help us to assemble this device. Push that in like that. So actually there's an interesting story behind these. I mean, I could do a whole story on the spirit bell, but these were actually invented because back in Victorian times, people were afraid of being buried alive. So a lot of people had these actually outside their graves, next to their coffins. So that one actually wants to just turn around. So it works like that. Okay, I think what we should probably do, if we can, is just get all of you to come a little closer around the table. So come all the way around this side as well. Link hands. You're going to be a part of the circle. Okay, now we're just going to, in a very calm way, and I need everybody in the room to believe that this is possible. We're going to ask Alice to give us a sign. Alice, are you with us?
Yes, we will say it.
Yeah, so let's say it.
Alice, are you with us? Alice, are you with us? Alice, are you with us? Alice, are you with us?
Alice, are you with us?
Alice, are you with us? Alice, are you with us? Alice, are you with us? What the actual?
Okay, thank you, Alice.
I'm actually confused of what happened there.
Okay, so let's take it that we have a presence with us. I'm hoping that it's Alice and not Ash. Let's proceed with the experiment. You can take your seats again. Thank you, guys.
That's pretty freaky.
Okay, so let's turn our attention to the book now. And what Dr. Robinson says is that we really need to look at some of the dates. He talks in this letter about some of these dates having some significance. So I think what we should do is somebody, can you see?
No.
I'd like you to just read through this letter. Chris, do you want to pick a date? So there's a lot of dates mentioned in there. I don't want you to tell anyone else in the room what it is, but just look at all the dates that are mentioned in the letter.
Okay. Got some few dates.
Okay, just settle on one that maybe means something to you, feel guided perhaps.
Okay, let me just look in this one just quickly. Okay, I've got one.
Okay, now I want you to take the diary and I want you to look for that date.
Hate this. Okay, got it.
You found the date?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want you to say anything.
Okay.
Just getting a sense. I'm just going to try and see what you're seeing through Alice. Could you go 2 days back from where you are right now?
Okay.
I'm seeing, oh, it's just too terrible. She's really, really missing her dad a lot. Are there like maybe red hearts drawn?
Yes.
Maybe your dad is even represented as an angel with wings. Since she's missing him so much, she says everything's not the same since her dad died, since he went to heaven. She's distraught. Oh, it's terrible. I want you to go back to the date that you chose originally and go 1 day forward. Oh, she's encountered Ash. There's a picture of her. She's got these terrible red eyes. She's angry with Ash. Ash is mean. Ash does things to me. She blames me for things. She wants me to go away. Go back to the day that you were on. She's confused. Everything's different. Nothing's the same. I don't feel like I'm me. Everything's different. Everything feels different. That's what she's saying. Do any of those things make sense? So I'm also looking at that picture of Ash. Are there flowers drawn, lying on the floor maybe, like ripped out? Ash hates flowers. She's destroying them. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so you settled on a date that just meant something to you. And that's what's going on for young Alice. It's tragic. Okay, let's put the book down for a second.
Take it.
So the other thing that Dr. Robinson talks about is he talks about the blocks. And he says that in the book, there's the secret to unlocking these blocks. Lex, do you want to move over there so you can see?
Thank you.
So what we need to do is, let's just have a look at the book again. Sorry, where is it? So you'll see when you page through the book, in between the entries, there are also some, not many of them, but there are some drawings of the blocks. Here, she says, my blocks talk to me. So there's another picture with the blocks. Lex, can I ask you just to look through the book find those drawings with the blocks on.
Okay.
Some are repeated, but there's 3 or 4 different words that are spelled out using the blocks. So just have a look through.
Can I choose any picture with blocks on it?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. But something where you're kind of looking at the word and you're going like, I don't know, there's something kind of talking to me here.
Okay.
Okay, you have one.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter if you tell everyone because we're actually going to need to help you here.
So I can make a word with the blocks.
Yeah, so now we're going to make that word using these blocks.
Okay.
Do you want someone to help you?
Okay.
It's just so you can get the... Okay, so the word is enter a. Or enter you. Okay, can you make that word using these blocks on the table?
That word.
Yes.
Might take a while.
Maybe we need some light. Somebody's got a phone that they can... Whose is this? Nexus. There we go. Maybe you have to do it exactly like that. Yeah, so some are lowercase.
Oh.
And the colours.
Oh, the colours. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's put them together. Okay, so it's kind of bizarre. It's really bizarre that you chose that word. And I'll tell you why. Can you guys just gather around here? Because we've got these photos, and I noticed when I was going through the collection earlier that you'll see they don't really have anything written on the back except this one of Alice.
Oh no.
So there's definitely some kind of connection here, but I'm still not getting the significance of this word and what does it actually mean. So maybe there's some more clues in that picture there. Maybe here in the paragraph. This brings me to the children's blocks that were included with the diary. Whilst I still need to conduct further tests, blah, 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 it is my belief these toys are the gateway to the parapsychological event that led to the ultimate manifestation of Ashley. The diary appears to provide instructions to unlock the secrets. I have to say that even with my experience, I'm apprehensive to go down this road. Something definitely lies underneath. I'll report back in my next letter.
Do you see any clues?
Do you see any clues?
Asking me. Oh.
So, just if you look, yeah, he mentions that word as well, which I thought was kind of interesting. Chris, can I ask you to just take these slates? Maybe just hold them over your legs. Yeah. Okay, so the other way that, and Ash mentions this in the book as well, that she was also able to communicate, as Alice, was able to communicate with Ash using these slates. But I think that what she was really trying to tell us was that what the clue that we were looking for was underneath the blocks. Lex, can I ask you to just grab the blocks by the sides like this?
Yeah.
And turn them over without changing the order, all the way around.
One more time, or
Put them down. Does that spell a word?
demons.
Oh, I don't think that's a
Hold the
coincidence.
slate.
Demons.
What?
I listen. Should I open it?
Good choice.
He's like,
Let me just show the camera.
You can actually feel it moving, right?
Yeah, I felt it moving.
Let's get a shot down here.
I don't like that.
Send her on her way.
I'm just checking behind me.
Ash, are you with us? I guess we'll never know.
Well, I guess the board thing was not allowed. So,
Thank you, guys.